Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tony again from Drinks and Opinions. I'd like to take a second before I begin to apologize to all of you. I've had a busy life going on the past few weeks, and I have not been able to do any reviews on Night Court or even watch it. But I did get caught up today on the last 4 episodes. That would include the newest one from Wednesday, and I did watch it today. So this review for this will include reviews from episode 6 and 7. Episode 6 will be the first one I'm going to do now. It'll be Justice Buddies. So we'll get into that. Alright, this episode of Justice Buddies, I'm really kind of hard pressed on where to go with this particular episode. In this episode, they really were trying to address constitutional rights, involving around free speech. And it did involve a person that was exercising their constitutional right, First Amendment, free speech, but did it in a way that was technically illegal. He was trying to put a toilet on top of a Christopher Columbus statue. Now, how everybody feels about Christopher Columbus, it's your opinion. I'm not voicing my opinion on that one way or the other. That's not what this is about. With that being said, and that's basically what the episode revolved around. They also had some children in there, kids from a local, I think it was like a youth program called Justice Buddies. Kids that were interested in law, order, court stuff. They had several of them there for that episode. Dan got assigned a young kid. Olivia got assigned a young kid. Gergs got her nephew that was in the program. And I believe a few other kids. That being said, they were doing this court case with this guy that was well-known artist, graffiti artist, and I think just artist in general. And he was complaining about a Christopher Columbus statue, and the way he protested it was he put a toilet on top of the Christopher Columbus head, or was attempting to, one of the two. I don't specifically remember if he did, but I think he did do it. Got arrested. And when they went to the court, it happened to be the kids knew the artist that was coming in, and it turns out they were there to file a protest, have an actual protest in the court if this guy were found guilty. Because they were big fans of him being, exercising his freedom of speech, and the kids didn't believe he should get in trouble for what he did, even though technically, by every definition, he did break the law. And this episode was really heavily revolved around that and the message with it on this episode. And this is where I have my not necessarily confusion, but I'm very split on how I felt about it. I understand what they were getting at with the episode. Trying to show, hey, freedom of speech. Well, trying to address freedom of speech or the constitutional rights, basically, in the court. Basically, we're trying to explain why something shouldn't be legal or should be illegal. And we all know everybody has a right to free speech. I 100% believe that. That being said, if you block a road while exercising your right, you're probably going to get arrested or a fine. If you stick a toilet on top of a statue's head, you're probably going to, at best, probably get a fine. At worst, a couple days in jail. But mostly you'll probably just get a fine for it, as long as there was no spray painting or actual physical damage to whatever it is you were doing. And the kids, back to what I was getting at, the kids were protesting, and Judge Stone was very conflicted on what she wanted to do, because she was trying to see the point of view of the kids exercising their rights, this gentleman that was trying to exercise his right, even though technically, by definition, did break the law by putting the toilet on the statue. And technically, I guess you could say the kids were breaking the law by holding up court proceedings. But with this episode, the judge was really trying to find that balance between justice and upholding constitutional rights. Being Gerg's nephew, she was really conflicted because she wanted to support him, but at the same time, she knew it was a courtroom and it's where she worked. Well, she ended up joining in on the protest with the kids and her nephew. And they had a little chant going, and well, they finally worked it out. They got everything worked out in the episode. I'm not going to give it all away for anybody that has not seen it yet. I'll give you enough, so this is a spoiler warning, obviously. But like I said, I knew what they were getting at. I just don't think they approached it necessarily the best way. They were almost hinting that you could exercise your rights and break the law at the same time, and there would be no consequences. That's how it kind of came off to me. I'm not saying that's what they were trying to do, but that's how the messaging came off. Because the gentleman was found not guilty at the end and let go. And like I said, I see both sides of the argument on this because I have seen people trying to debate it. I haven't seen the debates directly because I haven't done a review up until today. So I didn't want to watch anything about it until I rewatched the episode, which I watched it twice today to make sure I had it right because it was a very important episode to watch twice. But like I said, it was a all right episode. I get what they were getting at. I just don't think they approached it necessarily bad way or necessarily in the best way. Like I said, I think they were trying to balance constitutional rights, freedom of expression, being able to express yourself, but also at the same time, he was technically breaking the law. And the way, like I said, the way the episode came off towards the end is, and I don't know if this, before I say this, I don't know if this was their intent. It very well probably wasn't, but that's the way it came off, is that there were no repercussions, even if you were exercising your rights, which you should. But exercise your right doesn't mean you can break the law and get off scot-free. You know, there could be repercussions if you're, like I said, putting a toilet on a statue like he did, blocking roadways, or going into a business and protesting. You could be arrested for trespassing, so on and so forth. But like I said, it's not a bad episode. I got what they were getting at. I just think the way they did it could have been better on this episode. But I get the point of what they were doing. You know, it's almost like something similar. You probably see something similar back in the original show, original Night Court back in the 80s. You would have seen stuff like that. And again, it's a difficult topic, trying to weigh the balance between constitutional rights and punishment for breaking the law. Now, obviously, he put a toilet on there. I'm not saying he should have been put in jail for days, anything like that. The fine probably would have been more than enough for that. But that being said, not a bad episode, but they could have done a few things differently in it. You know, to show, yes, you can exercise your rights, and we're going to support that in this court, but you also can't break the law while you're doing it. That there could be consequences for doing it if you were legitimately breaking the law, which he did. But that being said, like I said, not a bad episode. It was just one that I had to watch twice because it did give me some conflicting feelings on the episode, the way they did it. But I could watch it again, and I probably will to see maybe if I've missed anything. If any of you go and watch it, if you haven't seen it, I would probably watch it twice, maybe 3 times, just to see if you are missing anything, which I'll probably watch it again. But all in all, this episode, I'd probably, for Justice Buddies, episode 6, probably give it I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Like I say, not a bad episode. They were trying to address a constitutional issue, legally speaking. Yeah, because he did technically break the law. But all in all, like I said, watch it. I think you'll find the episode interesting. That being said, this was Season 1, Episode 6. Review for Justice Buddies. And now we will move on to episode 7, which was Train Court, here in one moment. See you then. Hey everybody. Alright, we're going to do Season 1, Episode 7 of Night Court 2023. This will be Train Court. This episode felt like nothing more than a filler episode. I'm just going to be honest about it and just throw it right out there. It felt very much like a filler episode. I'm not saying that's what it was, but that's just how it came across to me. The episode basically revolved around Olivia and Judge Stone being stuck in a subway train that broke down. Then you had a secondary story basically between Dan and Gergs. I don't know what to say about this one. I didn't enjoy this episode. Train Court. I didn't enjoy it that much. At least the train scenes between Abby and Olivia when they were stuck on the train. We'll get to that first. The train broke down. They were stuck on it. Olivia's freaking out. It was a train full of New Yorkers. So Olivia was freaking out in the train. Judge Stone, her normal happy self, was just all giddy and excited. And everybody on the train, they were stuck on there for a while, and I guess it was starting to get hot in there with all the bodies, which is not surprising. And Olivia at that point even started freaking out even more. And all the passengers in the train were getting annoyed with each other. Hold on, need a drink. And Judge Stone decided after two passengers were fighting over a seat to do like a mock trial in the train. Well, they did it, and Olivia had to play the prosecutor and the defense attorney. So she was playing two roles at once. And it was done basically in a way just to try to keep everybody's attention occupied. Because, like I said, everybody was getting agitated on the train. Who wouldn't probably get agitated if you're stuck on a train for any long period of time in a city? And then it went over to Gergs and Dan. Because they ended up having, why Abby and Olivia were stuck in the train, they had to bring in a temporary judge, a temporary prosecutor. Dan was wanting to hurry up and just get this over with because he had a appointment scheduled at like high-end restaurant where they, I guess they use like stem cells and genes to make food, different styles of food, and it's supposed to be designed for your taste buds in mind kind of thing. You'd have to watch it to kind of get the gist of it, what was going on with that, the whole restaurant thing. But that was what it was revolving around. He was trying to hurry up and get all the cases done to get out. Well, they happened to have some figure skaters in there, 3 of them. One was on trial for something petty, and Gergs was trying to hold it up because she knew Abby would get excited seeing figure skaters because she's just into that. So Gergs trying to hold the whole case up, hoping Abby could get there in time. Dan's trying to get through the case really quick. And while they end up holding it up. Finally, at the end, the judge ends up ruling on it, temporary judge. Well, when he ruled on it, Abby ended up walking in. Gergs points at him. Abby ended up knowing 2 of the figure skaters. Actually knew him personally. So Dan was all mad because he missed his restaurant appointment at that place. And he's like, really? I missed my restaurant appointment for people she knew, kind of attitude. And I'd probably be a little frustrated too because it was a very high-end restaurant. And at the end, the 2 figure skaters ask Abby if she wants to go eat with them at that restaurant because apparently, since Dan didn't go, they got a text on their phone that some seats had opened up at the same restaurant. So Dan was really mad at that point. They asked Abby if she wants to go. The other judge, the temporary judge, thinks they're talking to him. He gets all excited, books out the door with them. Well, finally, at the very end, Gergs felt bad for Dan. And she took him into Abby's chamber and had a good southern meal made for him. Stuff he would like. Like, I think it was hog's head cheese. I think it was boiled chicken feet and fried gizzards, I believe is what it was. Nothing I'd eat. Well, Abby ends up walking in, because Dan's all excited at this point. Gergs is looking at it, just wanting to gag. Abby walks in, talks to Gergs, says thank you, looks down, see what Dan's getting ready to eat. Dan invites Abby to sit down, looks at Gergs and goes, come on, sit down, this is a meal fit for a king. And at the end, Gergs just starts gagging and walks right out. Like I said, with this episode, I don't think I'd watch this episode again. Honestly, it just felt like filler. Not saying they ran out of ideas. I'm not even saying it was intentionally a filler episode. That's just how it came across. So could I watch again? No. I'd probably give this episode out of a 10 a 4. And if I want to be super generous, maybe a 5. It just, for me, I just wouldn't watch it again. Again, some people will like this episode, some won't. That's the gist of it. This one was in Train Court. Episode 7 was easy to do a review on because there really wasn't a whole lot going on, in all honesty, for the most of the episode. It just felt like filler. But I might go back again, watch it again. Maybe I missed something. Fair enough to say that. But that being said, that was my review for Season 1, Episode 7, Train Court for Night Court 2023. Again, thank you all for watching. I do appreciate it. My next video will have Episode 8, Blood Moon Binga, not Bingo, Binga, which was actually a really good episode. If you haven't seen it, you'll like that one. I enjoyed it. It felt like old Night Court. And then I will do episode 9, Two Peas in a Pod. So my next review will be those two together just to get caught up, to get it done quicker. But again, like I said, remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for coming. Bye.